And again, I'm not going to lie.
No, fair. And we are going to bring a little bit more than the tussle in it. I mean, some of the stories we've been sharing about football, whether that's Fulham Football Club, Spurs or Hearts, you know, there's a lot there, but you're still out and you're playing at the moment. But in the day job, right, as a sales director in the KBB industry now, what's your biggest challenge? I know that's deep, but I like a deep one early on.
It is a deep one. No, the biggest challenge is getting your message across, like it always is to anyone. Explaining to the customer why we are different, and you mentioned about the arrogance nature. We strive to be the best in our class in terms of the shower door market. We feel that, you know, I could throw names around in terms of brands that we compete with, but we want to be the best in class. But trying to do that without an arrogant nature is not always the easiest thing to do. But it's not. It's because we want to take pride, we want to take passion. It's try to get that message across to people. What, you know, details, the care and attention that we do with the product, that why they should buy it at the end of the day. So, you know, day-to-day things. It's engaging with customers. It's you know, relationships. It's nice. I mean, I've been out a lot since we came back after Christmas. We've had a change up of staff, so I was out on the territory that I wasn't as familiar with, and it's nice seeing faces that I haven't seen for a while, and it's you know it's welcoming, and
there is a genuine warmth about seeing each other again. Because I'm like you, I have a passionate warmth, love, respect, and admiration for the KBB industry. It's part of our DNA at Foy & Jones, and I really mean this. And that's whether it's a showroom manager, a business owner, a designer, a business developer. All those personalities and people are what keeps that wheel turning. And you know, you can have the most amazing, award-winning, innovative product. But for me, the magic happens when someone starts talking about it.
That's where it all comes from, isn't it? At the end of the day, I mean, when we went to furlough the first time round, my boss, you know, I was still in communication with him. We're on furlough, we're not working, and like after 10 days, it felt all right for 10 days. It felt like a little bit of a holiday. But then after that, I don't know what to do myself.
You weren't living a furlough dream, mate. When the sun was out.
No. I mean, the weather was nice, thank God. But
there was a few people living the summer of love and the furlough. I mean, you know, it's amazing how how as a nation we went, and I spoke about this so much in the Survival Series podcast. But you know, it's amazing how as a nation, you know, we went from terror, you know, loss of life to, you know, we saw best of humanity, worst of humanity, but we have got through it. Exactly. And we have got through it, and there'll be permanent scars, there'll be temporary scars, there'll be wounds that probably never heal. But the industry's bouncing back, and 2022 looks exciting.
It does.
What challenges do you think your customers are facing at the moment?
At the moment, the biggest one I'm finding, and you know, I don't want to be putting out there negative vibes and worrying people, but my one worry is that the installation sector is so small now. There's a lot less fitters out there since we've had the Brexit and the you know, COVID and things. And since we've come back, I'm worried about a bit of a bottleneck. I think that's going to be one of the biggest challenges. It might be one thing selling a bathroom or a kitchen, but if you've not got anyone fitting them, then it's going to Constantina up to the point where things are going to stop.
You know what? And that hits on all levels. I mean, you know, I've had guests on, and supply chain. You know, supply chain availability of products is a real challenge. Yeah. But then you listen to the work that Damien Waters is doing with the BIKBBI and Stephen Johnson. And, you know, they're regular guests with me, and we're standing up to Big County to support apprenticeships and to try and do something about the skills crisis, because we have a problem, you know, and it is there. I had a local plumber, semi-retired guy, come around and do some work on my place yesterday, you know, and we were worried about finding someone, and it wasn't even a big job. And you know, the guy, he was like 9.9, 127 reviews on Checker Trade. Everyone told me he's the guy you're gonna get, but he's really busy. You won't get him. I'm like, oh God, you know, look, I just need that. Anyway, luck as it was, you know, we got him in. He came round, he done the job, and you pay every pound, shilling and pence gladly. Yep. When you now look at the amount of business I'm talking to that are looking for skilled fitters, skilled installers, and you know, are we going to employ them PAYE? If they're going to subcontract, how are we going to get their commitment? And then you turn it the other way. What's in it for them? If they are an asset and they're an asset to the industry, why do they want to work with you?
Exactly. They can make more money working for themselves potentially.
Or if they're going to partner with you, you know, how are you going to shape up to make it work for them? And that's changed so much now because it's there. And I think recognising that it is a challenge. It must be a real challenge. Do those conversations happen all the time?
Yeah, I mean, we're always, in communication with the showrooms and things. You're always learning that they're different. Every showroom has different challenges. One will be fitting, one will be getting people through the door. Is that because they're maybe not moved on in the world in terms of digital advertisement, that kind of thing? So everyone's doing things differently. So we find I've always said doing this role is you've got to have a chameleon skin. You've got to be able to change. You got I work with somebody in a trade counter in the merchant industry, and working with the CEO of Bartley Homes, for example. So, and we're doing their bathrooms. So it's everyone in between. So you have to adapt to every situation and every consumer and every customer that you've potentially got.
Being memorable is part of that.
Yeah,
it is being part of that. So I often, and people laugh about it, but I play on the fact I've got a West London accent. I play on the fact that I'm a Fulham fan, and I would talk about, like I just did. I would say, look, here's my son, he's doing this. Yeah. Here's my other son, he's doing that. I went to the other football the other day, drunk too much. It's but that kind of personality is what I would still use in a boardroom.
Absolutely.
I'd still use it in a business meeting. I'd use it in any environment I'm in, and I see now there are some businesses that are making that plunge. It's not just a couple of thumbs up saying I'm going to comment on this update. They're going to put their content out. Yep. They're going to try and change the way they're telling their story. And this platform, it's a podcast. What's my objective? I said it before. I want guests to arrive in the studio smiling and having fun. Yeah, I want them to leave having fun, because if we've achieved that in our conversation, people are going to want to listen to it. That's it. From a sales director's perspective, when you're out and about, one of the worries I have for our industry is making it attractive to others. Yeah. All right. So we know there's a skills crisis and we need more installers, but even making it attractive for the next generation, that's something I'd love to get your views on, mate, because we all come into it through somewhere. So let's tell your story. So how did you end up in your role? Let's bring this into let's actually slow it down a little bit, Charlie, and let's just hear the Alex Cooper story.
It's a very, very strange
From
one.
Scotland to Camberley, and centre half to sales director.
It is a bit like that. And I went to, done my high school, done my sixth form, usual kind of process. Went to college, done interior architecture and spatial design at college. Had no idea what I really wanted to do at that point. Yeah. I know I wanted to be involved in design. That's my passion, art, craft and design, whether it was making something with my hands or drawing something, that's my skill set. And I found this job on the website, Design for Design, I think it was at the time. I don't know if it still exists, but and I saw this job, which part of West One Bathrooms, and I applied for it, got the job. A bit of a story there, how I got it, because I got a phone call, and I thought it was one of my mates' dads winding me up, genuinely. And for whatever reason, I didn't say anything, and I don't know why I didn't say anything. And I agreed to get on a plane 2 days later, and I thought, I came off the phone, found out it was all genuine, and sort of panic set in. Getting on a plane now, I'm going there for an interview. Got picked up, had an interview, and the rest is history. I didn't think about it. And I think if I'd thought about it, moving 400 miles away from home at that age.
How old was you?
I think it was 22. So I've been down here 18 years now. So nearly half and half. So I've nearly been down here as long as I've been back home. But so I just bit the bullet and did it. And it was probably the best thing I'd done, because not giving it any thought, I just dived into the deep end.
I'm pleased in your 18 years down here, though. You don't talk like you're from stockbroker belt Surrey.
Good. I'll keep going up. Keep it topped up.
Yeah.
So I worked with West One Bathrooms. It was Bathwaters at the time, but it's part of the West One Bathrooms. For me personally, give credit to Duncan and Kevin on West One. It was the best place I could have started my career, because it gave me the best product knowledge, gave me the best training, gave me the best foundation to build my career within this industry. I always see them now, and I still see them now. They're like the Harrods of the bathroom world, because they've got access to everyone, sell everything. So from a product knowledge, it was great. It was great.
Beautiful showrooms.
Beautiful showrooms, exactly.
And it's not a party political broadcast on behalf of them, but when you look at the locations, they're beautifully picked as well.
It's a high street product in terms of, I say high streets, they're picked in beautiful parts of the world as well. But that's their business model, is they want to be on the sheet, they want to be the shop front, and that's what the brand's built on. But it was good for me, and a stepping stone for me from there was it gave me the confidence and the knowledge to then step my career on to becoming a manager in another showroom. So I moved to a company over in Red Hill Reigate area. I was a manager there for about 3 years. And I suppose at that point I didn't know where I wanted to go. Where's my next step? So I felt like I was progressing in the industry. and I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And there's thoughts of me going back home to Scotland. There was all sorts of things going on at that time, and a job came up with one of our competitors now, Majestic, and I went there. Family business, and I just felt that for me personally, again through that's what took me to the Shire Lab. So Max and Pete at the time, who were the co-owners at the time, approached me. And the rest is history. I've been here 11 years since, and it's obviously for me it's the best move I've had because the longevity sort of speaks for itself.
It's really amazing that moment when you had to stick or twist and come down and pick your life up and go.
Yeah.
I look at various things that have happened in my career and my life, and you think, well, if that hadn't happened and I wouldn't have moved there, then that and I didn't go that far, but I remember when my eldest son was born, and we were living in Fulham, and we were trying to get on a property ladder, and everything was going on, and I was at Travis Perkins at the time, and they offered me the chance to become a regional manager, and it was a relocation, and I moved from West London to the West Country, and once we thought about it. It was done. Decision was done.
You made your decision.
It was done, and that changed the game in terms of my whole career from that point. And I look back on that and I think, well, what made me do it? It just felt right. And it's those moments. Same as when we moved back to London. We moved back to London when my youngest son Henry was on the way, and then I left 9 3/4 years at Travis, and everyone knows the story. But I left to join Jewson, sales director. Boom. Then Foyne Jones. Here we are, and I say it slowly. I think I'm in my 19th year at Foyne Jones. So we've rolled the emotional. We've ridden the emotional roller coaster. You've been on that journey now. It must be great when you're building your own team and you're leading your own people, giving that back, because there's such a story to tell. It's hard work, it's passion, and you've done it with personality, mate, haven't you?
Well, I hope so. I think.
Well, I think you're boring, actually.
It won't be the first time, but if somebody said it. But haters hate.
Just for the record, I don't think he's boring because he's a lot bigger than me. He's a lot taller than me. Right? I think he's a very inspiring gentleman.
But. It's interesting now because I think you said it in one of your other recent podcasts, obviously being a sales director and things at quite a young age. And, obviously a bit older than when you became sales director, but I've been sales director there for, 7 years?
It was easier then, mate. It was easier then. You just got to turn up. Mate.
But, so I'm employing people that are older than me, which is but I don't ever take my position for granted or anything, and I don't ever, fly the title about, because for me it is a team game. Our business is a team, and we all try and work together. It doesn't matter if it's somebody in the warehouse, it's somebody on the road, whatever it is. If we don't all pull together, it doesn't work. I've got an individual that I've known for 15 years in the industry. He works for me. He was one of our ASMs in the south, and he's in his early 60s. I won't mind me mentioning his age too much, but
what's
literally Keith Saunders.
Keith, is he listening?
He
will be now.
Hopefully, he will be now.
Shout out to Keith Saunders. We do this all the time now.
Good.
But Bart Murphy started it when he went through the whole Murphy family, didn't he? So we're doing it all the time now.
But Keith's been in the industry. He's been selling shower doors for 45 years nearly. Now Keith, I can guarantee, will still go out there tomorrow with the same smile he had on his face 40 years ago. He's the most enthusiastic sales representative, and I can guarantee any of our partner showrooms would back that up all day long. So actually employing people like that make me happier in what I do, and if you're smiling, you're doing the job right, aren't you? I think that's what it boils down to. You've got to enjoy it to do it well.
And I mean, again, Rico, new signing at Jones Digital. I say that all the time. I want you to have fun. I want you to learn. Yeah, there's going to be days when I'm really stressed because I can't open my message on WhatsApp. It'll be something life changing. It'll be something actually life threatening. It's not opening. Like what's happening. It'll be something really basic, and I'm going, this is the world's ending. But at the end of the day, you want people to be able to be creative, have fun, and you do. You bring people in around it, and that's when I think we've learnt that getting back to business now. Are we working a 4-day week? Are we hybrid? Are we work from home? Are we work remote? Are we out there? Wherever the magic happens for you in your business, enjoying what you do has got to be the starting place. It has to be.
We refer to football and stuff earlier on, but it's like picking a football lineup, isn't it? If they don't gel together, they don't work together, it ain't going to work. It's the same in the business ethos. It's exactly the same. You're still picking a team to do a job.
In the old online gaming, mate, chemistry.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah,
I didn't understand it. My nephew was round. I'm going, why don't you pick him? He said, no, it's going to mess my chemistry up. I went, what?
Exactly.
And he was showing me how it works, mate. So, and I'm going, I get it, and it's there, but what I don't like about the online gaming, right, and the FIFA and all that, is like when the kids are playing football now, they're saying I'm playing CDM.
Yeah. I don't know the positions.
You're not playing CDM. You're sitting in the old.
My
mate.
son says this to me, and I'm going, no, you're not.
How old's your boy?
He's 13. He plays at Woking Cougars up near where we are. They're doing all right at the top of the league this season.
I see him on the Sky Sports ticker, mate, every week. Woking Cougars.
I hope so. He's got more talent than I had. Anyway, he's maybe not got the fire in the belly like I had, but hopefully he'll do all right.
I think growing up in Surrey slightly different. Middle
class football's not quite the same as the Sogtons in Edinburgh and behind the tower blocks and playing by a mitre multiplex that literally give you concussion. You know what I mean?
That's what I mean when I was playing over 2 of Common or the Marches.
Exactly.
Mate. It's very, very different. Yeah. But I get it, and we are going to bring football in this episode, and we'll do it in the second half because I want our listeners to get a feel for your passion for the Jambos. I want to talk Tottenham with you, and we will talk Tottenham. So we do that in the second half. But as we bring the first half to a close, what should the industry expect from your business this year? What have you got? Where are you going? What's next for you?
We're looking for growth, but growth not just in terms of opening accounts left, right, and centre. We've been based really down in the south of England, really inside the M25 section, for the 10 year I've been there. The next step for us is our new range of product is the View Refined range, and it's been refined for a reason. It's refined so it'll travel better. Travel better, we open our market up. Our market still gets opened up to the rest of the UK, and that's where we want to grow a business. We want to get in touch with new connections. I've already got a few Manchester, Lancaster, so they're popping up. I've actually jumped the fence completely into Scotland because I've got a passion to deal with my home country at the end of the day. And as I say, you've seen.
Are they welcoming you back or not?
They are.
Yeah. Well, you know what I mean. It'd be a bit.
You keep the accent, you get let in again. So it works out quite well. But we've got a nice number of dealers already up there. Got a sales representative up there, and he's doing a great job for us as well. And I'll be up in the next couple of weeks to catch up.
I saw some of the work you're doing, and do you know what? The enthusiasm's fantastic. I love the post you put out earlier week with all my episodes on.
Yeah,
I loved it. I'm like, but Jack O'Connell, shout out Jack the lad. He was going, look at that, look. He said, you seen that? I went, yeah, Jack's all right, mate. Calm down. He said, no, look. I'm going, I do have listeners.
Well, it's also interesting to see.
I do have listeners, Jack. We have been in the charts in 18 countries, huge in Thailand. Don't know why, but it is good to see it, and I think with the support of Charlie and with Rico now, what we're trying to do is give everyone a little bit of the Foy and Jones show experience. So yes, you can listen on iTunes, you can listen on Spotify, you can go YouTube if you want to watch the video. The clips are really helping now because it's just keeping it out there. And what I loved about yourself was the enthusiasm. It was like, yes, let's get on it. Let's come down. And you've listened to some of the other episodes to get a feel for it. Yeah. Have we exceeded expectations yet?
Absolutely. I mean, you learn something listening to these things. You're talking to such a diverse amount of people, different parts of our industry, but they're all diverse parts of our industry. And you're always learning something. You listen to that, you're always picking something up. So it's interesting.
I really, I mean, for me, this started as something which was a crazy idea. Yeah. In the November, December 2018. That's when it was. It was just an idea. Yeah. Couple of pilot episodes in 2019. We're in the 5th series. This is episode 15. That's the first half of the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Life-changing recruitment for the KBB, builders merchant and construction industries. Creative social content, specialist knowledge, world-leading video technology, helping you find career happiness and helping your business attract its stars of the future. We are Foy and Jones. This is what we do.
So, all right, okay, so let's get back to business, all right? We've been talking about middle-aged men's wardrobes and the fact that when you've got a slight derby, black is the new colour for all occasions, all right? So, there we are, in black. There's my black football. Let's get back to business. Let's talk about the Foy and Jones show. I have a love and a passion for football, and it's shared by yourself, Alex. It's shared by you.
Absolutely.
So, You support two teams, but I can kind of understand that. Being from north of the border, or Chili Jocko land, as Jimmy Greaves used to call it back in the St and Greavesy days, God bless his soul. Great quote from Jimmy Greaves, and it leads us quite nicely to talk about Tottenham Hotspur as well. He said that, forget Glenn Hoddle and Maradona, and the best passer of the football I've ever seen is Johnny Haynes.
Yeah.
And Johnny Haynes begun his career at Tottenham, couldn't get into the team, joined Fulham as a 16-year-old, captain Fulham, captain England, first £100 a week footballer. There you go.
There you go. Stats.
There you go. I sit in the Johnny Haynes stand at Fulham. Yeah. There will be, after this show, an invitation to Craven Cottage for you to join me, because you're absolute value. Let's talk about your love of heart of Midlothian. I
grew up. My dad was born in Sogton and behind the stadium at Gorgie, so there was no danger that we were going to be anything else but Hearts supporters. So there's me and my two brothers. And I used to go to football every Saturday with my dad. Going out in the winter in the pitch black up into Merchiston. Best game probably I can remember going to is when we beat Bayern Munich. That's standing behind the stands at beat Bayern Munich. A little side ball to Ian Ferguson, bottom bin. Hearts win 1-0. Unfortunately, went to Bayern in the second leg, and I think if I remember rightly, Cahoon hit the post. And
how old was you?
So they would have been. I'm born 81. I think. God, I'd say that would have been really early 90s. About 91, 92. That would have been something like that. Maybe a little even earlier.
So 10, 11, 9.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and. But yeah, we're all Hearts fans.
European nights, man. I took my boys when they were about that age. In 2010, when Roy Hodgson took us on the amazing journey. We went. We beat Shakhtar Donetsk. We beat Juventus after being 4-1 down. We beat Hamburg. We beat Wolfsburg. We were about a minute and a half away from a penalty shootout, and I tell this story a lot. Some fella called Aguero dropped his shoulder, he whipped it in, and Forlan beat Hangeland to the ball, and it kind of deflected in. And we because we're full and we can't win the final. We have to lose that.
Well, we know that feeling at Spurs as well.
But yeah, we'll come on to a bit of Spurs. But we come on to Spurs. But who's the best player you've seen in a Hearts shirt?
Oh. Whether the best players or not.
Favourite player?
Favourite players back in the day? I used to love Robbo. I love John Robertson.
I think Hearts and I think that colour kit, I think of him flying down the wing.
He was the face.
I think of him flying down the wing.
Yeah, I still like the Dave McPhersons, and there was, again, I'm going way back now, like when I was really young, like Sandy Clark's, there's Ian Ferguson's. They didn't really have any massively standout stalwarts, that some clubs do, but they used to punch above their weight a little bit at the time. They were always. I always felt they were like the third strongest club in amongst the the Celtic Rangers, obviously. But yeah, Robertson was the sort of the one that you always watched, the goal scorer at the end of the day, isn't he? So, but there's a good. I think the stat, if I'm right in saying it, there was a good stat when he played. He didn't play for Scotland very often. But when him and McCoy started for Scotland up front, they won every game.
Really?
Yeah. So not a bad duo, McCoy and Robson.
Oh mate, I mean, McCoy's value in everything he does, isn't he? He's just absolute value. He just makes his career out being Ali McCoy, doesn't he? I mean, and there's something there if someone makes you feel like you know them, and he's so open and funny and honest with his commentary and with his punditry and with his radio show. Fair play to him, mate. It's but some people say my episodes are it could be a bit like Talk Sport, and you're doing that. I mean, we can get anywhere near that sort of quality. We'll take it all day long.
He's made a career for himself just by being a nice guy. He's just down to earth lad, and he there's not many people ever say about.
And he was in Question of Sport in the glory days, mate, exactly. It's like I talk about the Soccer AM glory days and the Question of Sport glory days. It's it has evolved, but your love affair with football when you came down, did you like Tottenham from afar when you was a kid? Was it a Glenn Hoddle love fest or a Gary Mabbott, Steve Archibald? What was drawing?
Gaza for me. Gaza's Tottenham for me. I absolutely love Gaza. I still love watching Gaza on little clips and documentaries you see on. I've watched the main Gaza.
Did you remember the goal he scored in Euro '96 when he flicked over Conor Hendry's head?
Unfortunately, I did. Yeah, and
I was behind that goal.
The more painful moment was McAllister missing the bloody penalty.
Yeah, I was behind the goal when Gaza did that. Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad place to sit and watch that.
No, it was like there's a few times, and I put that in my top 3 goals. Yeah. Right? It's not number 1 will be Rory McAree, who you won't have heard of. No. He's a Northern Irish player who played for Fulham in 1996 and 7, and he scored away at Carlisle, which effectively secured our promotion. Right. If you're a Fulham fan my age,
you're gonna know that.
Who Put the Ball in the Carlisle net is probably as big a song as Mitro's on Fire.
Yeah.
And it just depends on your eras. But that was a goal. Then Gazza's goal's in the mix, and Dempsey's chip against Juventus. That was that was time stood still. So you got these moments, and we had Kane scoring at Wembley against media friendly Villa. But you got the top. Tottenham's a big part of your life now, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, all comes from your parents, I think. My dad was massive.
We've got to talk about your old man because like you told me some of the people he's had in his paper round. So,
he's done all right. Graham Smith.
Paper round to the stars.
Yeah. Graham Smith, ex Hibs, Brighton, Motherwell, goalkeeper. He was David Gray, ex-Manchester United, Stevenage. He's now coaching at Hibs. He obviously won the Scottish Cup with Hibs, unfortunately. He is a big jambo, by the way, for all the Hibs listeners. Massive jambo. So we'll get that out there. We'll stick it right up him. But his granddad used to live right opposite us. So but my dad's been in football and sport, and from in his early 20s he started as a sports journalist, and then fell into plant hire and stuff. So actually, strange enough, goes into our sort of part of the industry with the plant hires and tool hires and stuff.
If you go a few episodes back, we're flying me to the moon now.
I was saying.
Sales director, Mr. Plant Hire. We had Bart on. He's got the best teeth in builders merchanting. Bart has. Hello, Bart. He won't mind me saying it. But Bart's doing amazing stuff with HSS, putting implants into builders merchant branches, and that's what this show's about. And Bart was talking about the coaching he's doing for his kids, his girls team, the boys team, and you look at it and you've got that. You're still playing, aren't you? And
I'm still trying to play. I'm playing West London Vets League, and we're talking
playing against one of my old mates, Jody Morris.
Jody Morris at the beginning of the season, which was a painful task. We couldn't get anywhere near him.
I've seen the lineup, mate.
He might have put a few pounds on, but I tell you what, you can't get anywhere near him. And it's not any easier to get near. Ball's gone before you get there. Yeah. So no,
he's a funny one. Born in Fulham, live in Fulham, 100% Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you know that's it. He's nothing else.
Great lad. Again, just normal people. It's down to earth. As I said to you, my ex-brother-in-law's used to play for Arsenal, Cardiff. So being around football players and obviously being in Edinburgh, it's a small place, so we all know each other anyway. I've not played at that level.
Why is that in Scotland? Because I was up doing some work in Aberdeen, right? And every cab driver knew Sir Alex Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
They knew him personally. I had him all the time.
It's just such
come
a
out for dinner. Yeah, he used to walk me dog. I'm like, this can't be true. Not everyone can know him in Aberdeen.
It's just a small network of people, and I suppose as a youngster, when you go to the nightclubs and things as we've all done, it's the same nightclubs, same people. You could actually end up become a nightclub becomes a local. I mean, you wouldn't get that down in London. It's too big and too vast for that. But it was more like a pub on steroids. You know what I mean?
So with Spurs, what do you think of the new stadium?
Absolutely love it.
Do you like it?
I've done the tour. I've done everything. I took my boy.
Stato.
I've done my.
That's two people who've been on the tour.
Yeah, I've done
David
the tour.
Blitz was on the tour.
I've done it
the
twice.
Episode out today. Listen to this on your way back. So David Blitz, he was talking about the tour.
It's good.
And you can't have heard that because
we haven't released it
yet. Yeah.
But I've done the tour a couple of times. I took my little boy recently to do the tour.
The new camp. The Camp Nou, I get it. The Santiago Bernabeu, I get it.
Yeah.
I've done the Ajax, the Johan Cruyff Stadium. I've done that. I wouldn't do a tour of Fulham because I think I know every bit of Fulham. Including the police room and all sorts of stuff.
It's nice to go and see all the corners in it and see how it's constructed. I mean, it's unbelievable. The sound in it's amazing. Unfortunately, the first game I went to in it, but the first video game I went to watch the Champions League final there when it was packed on the screens, and I wanted to leave after 2 minutes because it didn't go very well.
No, but that game against Ajax though. Do you know what I mean?
It was unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That was just they were all singing "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life," weren't they? Or no, Bob Marley, don't worry about the film or something, weren't they? The whole crowd was erupting, and then little Moya just boom.
Yeah, there's just moments, aren't there? Moments in life.
Talk about them. Talk about and we'll come on to it. But we sponsor and we really support a local team to here, Lewis Football Club. Yep. Michael, #different-class, is a family friend of ours, really good mates with my eldest boy. Well, good, just family friend, he's like part of the family. But he's playing centre midfield for Lewis. And when he was at Southend, he talks about playing a behind closed doors friendly against Tottenham. Yeah. Southend sent their first team, he was in it, and they played Tottenham. And he said it was the toughest 90 minutes of his life. He was chasing Moura and Lamella around. He said it actually wasn't fair. Yeah. He goes, it was ridiculous. I think they lost something like 6-1 or something. But he said it wasn't the result. It was the fact that they was that He just said it was pain. He just said it was just, you know, and there's all different other stories on his journey about, you know, coming up against Rashford at under 18, under 21s, and all different players, you know, and that's part of it. And he's in the non-league now, but doing really, really well with Lewis. But when you hear that and you kind of just see the levels they play at, Tottenham have got an amazing team.
Yeah,
they've got another new manager.
Yeah.
They're going to need some stability, aren't they? And kind of just to get it right.
They do. I mean, I think we mentioned that, you know, ex-Fulham boy as well, Moussa Dembele. For me,
you said something powerful there.
When he left, that's it. I couldn't see. I could all see it capitulating.
MOUSSA. We got Moussa Dembele.
Yeah,
he scores at home. He scores away.
He just tied the whole team together. He was the spine of Tottenham. Yeah. You know, he's just. And unfortunately, a lot of people didn't really.
The old Fulham captain in Norway, Brede Hangeland, he said, you know, that boy will never know how good he was and how good he could have been.
Yeah. Just a man mountain, wasn't he? Yeah. Absolute man mountain.
Glided past players.
So, for such a big guy as well, he's so broad-chested, you know, but he's just so strong. You couldn't get the ball off him. Impossible.
I remember we spoke about it off air, but when he arrived at Fulham, we had Brian Ruiz from Costa Rica, and it was just like, it was like carnival football. Yeah. You know, we didn't lose that much, and Martin Jol was kind of trying to keep the team together, and he brought in Berbatov. Of course he can. You know, Berbatov didn't sign for Fulham. Berbatov signed for Martin Jol. You know, and I spoke about that in a podcast with Matt Paul. But Dembele, amazing footballer. From a Tottenham perspective, I ask this to every Tottenham fan who comes on: what's Ryan Sessegnon got to do to get a game of football?
I don't know. I think when he has come on, he's done all right actually. Because for me, he's a proper wide man. You know, he'll get wide, he'll get it in. I mean, but you got Reguilon out there on the left now, and he obviously didn't like the. Who?
Reguilon, he's gone online, hasn't he?
No, don't think he played last night, didn't he?
Who am I thinking of then? I love I've just interrupted the recording. One of your right backs went out on loan in January.
Can't think who it is now. Reguilon played last night.
He
played on a 5.
You Googled it, mate. Reguilon played last night.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the game because it was on BT. I was out last night, but I didn't watch the game.
Lo
Celso, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking of.
No, we had a painful day last night. Dundee beat Hearts.
So what we're going to do, because Charlie's messed the whole podcast up, right? But he is the producer. Alex, I've got to ask you, there's a player, him and his twin brother have been at they were at Fulham for 100, they were at Fulham since they were kids. They grew up in Roehampton, which do literally in the flats directly over Craven Cottage. I know the flats well because my nan's mum, how good's that? My great granny lived in the same flat. So overlooking Richmond Park, Roehampton, Danebury Avenue, right? You'd know that. You hang around Surrey borders, Surrey South West London borders, off the Upper Richmond Road, all right?
Nice.
So they grew up in the flats there. Ryan and Stephen Sessegnon played at England every level. Ryan, I think he made his Fulham debut at 15. Before he was 18, he played 100 odd times for Fulham. Amazing footballer. We had that bad season when Silvisa got us up and we spent 150 million and made our team worse. Party company with Silvisa, brought in Ranieri, party company Ranieri, brought Parker in, couldn't do anything. Fair play to Parker, he got us back up. Sessegnon in the summer went to Tottenham. Yeah. I think Poch signed him.
Yeah, right? He did, yeah.
Mourinho takes over and season Mourinho, I think he's still at Fulham. I think he still is at Fulham. Jose's little boy. He's a keeper, isn't he?
Oh, right. Is that where he's
still?
Keeper, I didn't realise he still stayed there. Yeah,
I don't know if he did, but he did. So he was no Ryan, right? Yeah. So we think, okay, it wasn't one of those ones, why are you leaving? We're like, we've got relegated. You're a great kid. You're on the fringe of the England team. Go to Tottenham and be successful. Yeah. Not happened for him, has it?
Just never got the game time, really, has he? He's never. You don't know what goes on behind closed doors. You don't know what goes on in training, but he just doesn't seem to get the game time.
He did all right on loan with Hoffenheim in Germany, didn't he?
Yeah,
and
he did actually. Yeah, that's right.
And I think he came back, and I think Nuno rushed him, wanted to play him. Yeah. And he got injured. I can't remember what it is, but it's those margins,
it's very
isn't it?
Unsettled for us, anyway, isn't it? The manager we've gone through in the last 3-4 years.
Who's in charge now? Conte.
Conte, yeah. I mean,
do you remember Conte when he had no hair?
Yeah,
before he had his hair transplant.
Some job he's had done, not it? Some job he's had done.
Do you reckon he went with Turkey? Got he's got his teeth and his hair done.
He might as well got the veneers while I was there, eh?
But is he the right man? Is he the right man for Tottenham?
I think so, if he's allowed to do the job. You know, and you know, we get a lot of fans having a go at Levy, but Levy's a businessman. He's not going to do things rash. I always felt the way the Premier League was going, and if the fair play came in, the Arsenal and the Tottenham are going to be up the top because they both run the clubs as a business at the end of the day. The Man City's, the Chelsea, you can't compete. It's money's thrown at it. But you know, there's big talk of Tottenham getting bought out, and if that happens, then I'm not going to be too disappointed either because we might see us jump up. You know.
Well, it's ultimately, the financial investment's going to change its club one way or the other. I mean, I'd love to get a Derby fan on to see what their view is now, because Mike Ashley's hovering, isn't he? So,
yeah, exactly.
So and actually, we were looking at this on the way back, and with all their points deduction and stuff, if they'd be about mid-table. Well, Rooney's doing an all right job.
I heard that thing about Rooney in the change rooms. He's apparently got the league table as it is now, the league table with a deduction, and the league table with no deduction, and that's how he motivates the team. So it's like working. You find the right ways to motivate people,
But investment changes the club. So I remember that Rodney McAree moment, right? Jimmy Hill was the Fulham chairman.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hill saved us from Fulham Park Rangers and all sorts of stuff like that. And that team in 96-97 was a team of lower league players, and I think we came third or second. We came second that season. It was us, Wigan, and Carlisle.
Right.
And we were all going for promotion.
Yeah.
And I think on that day, Carlisle needed a point to go up. We needed 4 points to go up. We got 3 points. I mean, this was my world, right? Away at Carlisle on the Saturday, and we win away 2-1. 0-0 draw away at Mansfield on the Wednesday night. We're promoted. I'm like, I've arrived. I've achieved something in football. That's the old fourth, so it's the third at the time. Yeah. That summer, Jimmy Hill announces he sold the club to the owner, Harrods.
Yeah.
What? What's all that about?
Yeah.
And then he starts saying things like, we're going to go to the Premier League, we'll be the Man United of the South, we'll do it in 5 years. He did it in 4.
It's mad, isn't it, really?
And Kevin Keegan came, then left us for Egan. John Tigana came. We had players like Saha and John Collins and Lee Clark and Barham Altai and Coleman. And you look at that journey, that wouldn't happen without investment.
No, you can't do it.
And now I look at Al Fayed, he wouldn't even be a serious player now.
No.
In terms of when you've got countries buying football clubs.
Exactly, that's it.
So is that what Tottenham are going to need to consolidate Champions League? Because will Levy never do it?
He got his 2 signings in, obviously, at the January window, but they need at least 4 or 5. You need a squad. You look at the cities in the world where the money's gone, and they're bringing on substitutes that would walk into any starting.
What's your view on the Harry Kane situation?
I can't see him staying after the summer unless something drastic happens this time. He's not going to. I can't see him signing a new contract personally. Hey, you can't knock the lad. He's got to be left to go and win trophies. He's too talented not to. Albeit, I'd love to see him stay and be our new Jimmy Greaves. It's one of two. Do you want to be a record holder? Do you want to be in history books forever? Do you want to be the name of Tottenham Hotspur for the next 100 years? It depends on what. Everyone's got different aspirations in life, haven't they?
Well, for me, I really, from a Tottenham perspective, I've regularly seen them beat Fulham. I've seen Fulham beat them occasionally. Not very often. Not very often, but we won. I remember Barry Owls, who I was telling you about earlier. I remember him scoring a couple of goals when we won at White Hart Lane. I remember a great game when we were grand sharing at QPR. We come back from 2-0 down, and Sean Davis got a late winner, and we won 3-2.
I remember one. I think it was at the Cottage. It was 3-3, wasn't it?
Oh, that was an overhead kick. Dimitri Kamara, mate.
Yeah,
you must have known it was Dimitri Kamara.
Was that the overhead kick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the overhead kick.
I remember that game.
There's been a few games. There's been a few games, but normally we come unstuck. Do you know what I mean? And that's kind of how it goes. But I wish you all the best with Hearts. I wish you all the best with Tottenham Hotspur. And what I'd love to do, I'll say it publicly, is that have a look at the Fulham fixtures. If you want to go to a game, let me know. And I'd also like to get you along to watch our local team, Lewis. And a non-league team, because it's really good down there.
Real football.
It's really good down there, and we'll get you there as well. But it is, for me, this podcast isn't the same without football. And to have someone there that's still playing, that's got the passion, got the stories, got the network, it makes it just a fucking great episode. And that's what we're about here. So, I want to talk now about. We spoke about up and coming footballers. We spoke about stars of the future.
Yep.
All right. Well, we're going to speak about stars of the future now. Let's go back to your younger self and think about kind of the journey you've been on, and I can think of the journey I've been on.
Yeah.
And this is a great bit for you, Charlie, is that I'd love to get your passion, Alex, in talking about how can we inspire the next generation of KBB professionals? Where are they coming from? What do we need to do as an industry to make it more attractive?
I think, I thought about this because we obviously touched on, how the program was going to run and things. But
I mean, we ignored most of that.
We have,
yeah. But
we've got back to one of the points anyway. So we've done all right.
No, we've got we've got the key messages in. We spoke about the skills crisis.
Exactly.
We've spoke about Tottenham Hotspur. We spoke about Hearts. We spoke about your personality. Let's talk about the listeners now. People that want to build their careers and go forward. How can we inspire
the
them?
world for me is completely. As for everyone, it's very obvious. It's changed for everyone. I think what I didn't have when I had there was the media interface to be able to use. So, put yourself in the shop window, get yourself on videos, get yourself in the media, make yourself known to the people. You'll learn the product knowledge. The skills that you learn along the route are natural. They'll come, If you go to college and you study and you do your design degrees or whatever it might be and whatever route you want to go down. But, I'm at the age now where I feel like I'm in the middle sector. Am I comfortable being in front of camera? Probably not. Do I know it's the right thing to do for our business and for me as an individual? Yeah, I think it is. So the younger generation coming through, that's what they know now. So, see my kids on TikToks, Instagrams. You've got to almost embrace it.
I'll tell you a little story because he's sitting there. So we're going to talk about Rico. So when I'm talking to Rico about, and I can see all the great videography. I was like, yeah, we're definitely going to work with this. What are you like in front of the camera? You any good in front of the camera? Did you get nervous? He went, when I was back in Latvia, I was hosting online casino. He said he's a natural in front of the camera. Boom, and you're thinking like, yeah. It's normal, isn't it? It's absolutely
it's the new
normal
norm, isn't
now.
it? And that's the thing. It's making them aware it's the new norm. We see parents and things. We're all a bit sceptical about social media and all that from the younger generation. But yeah, protect them, but embrace it. You've got to make the most of it. It is going to be the new norm. We've got to embrace it. If we don't embrace it, you're only going to be falling behind everyone else that's out there. So for me, embrace social media, embrace the digital market, sell yourself, and people will come and find you. You'll be found, You'll be found.
That's powerful. And I think from a closing message point of view, as we wrap up the podcast, hearing that from a sales director, you said something powerful there. You said, product knowledge isn't a game changer. It's not a deal breaker.
You learn that. You can learn that.
Product knowledge isn't a game changer. Doing something to stand out and get noticed. Stephen Bartlett said something, and Stephen Bartlett could be a bit like Marmite. He does lots of things that are very, very good, and he does lots of things that are very, very clever, and it just depends where you sit. Personally, I think him and Dominic, what they achieved was amazing with Social Chain, and it's changed the game. It's changed the game completely. Now, and he said something really interesting, and it flagged up to me because it was recruitment related. He said, if you really want a job, you really, really want a job, think of the 5 ways that everyone else is going to apply for that job. Yeah. And don't do that. Yeah. Do something completely different. And you think it might take a voice like that to connect with the younger generation to actually listen, because we do this all the time. I do this all the time in kind of get noticed. If you if you just press apply, you've got a little chance. But if you really want something, prove that you can learn the product. Prove that you want it enough. Go and knock on the door. Philippa from the Kitchen and Bathroom News, I love this in the episode. She said she got turned down. We've got to get this right, Charlie. She turned down from work experience from Take a Break, wasn't it? She said, take a break, turned her down. And she's like, how dare you? Right? How dare you? You'll Take a Break magazine. She went and got work experience with Vogue.
It's the best way to do it, isn't it?
And
prove
you just
people
go,
wrong.
Just go, boom, well done. And I think that we can all have dreams, we can all have aspirations, and I'm going to end the podcast on the biggest thing that's come through in this episode. It's about personality, and it's about having fun.
Yeah, talk to people.
You've brought that in the studio today.
Yeah,
you really
I appreciate
it. Alex, from a shower lab perspective, good luck for the rest of 2022. We want you back on the show. We want you coming to football with us. I'm even going to sign you up for some of our charity matches,
I'm
mate.
looking forward. I'll get on as many times as I get that hat-trick ball.
I'll see you. You know about the hat-trick ball?
I know about the hat-trick ball. I'm going to vie to get on that hat-trick ball.
Right, you want the hat-trick ball? I can see you playing like a bit of a libero role, a bit of a Beckenbauer.
As long as I've got runners round me, I'm good.
Okay, right. So we get you in our next charity football match or charity football tournament when we have it, because we have had fun. We have played at Craven Cottage. We've played at the Motspur Park training ground.
I've played at White Hart Lane.
We've played at the Dripping Pan. You've played at White Hart Lane. I've played at the Emirates. Charlie, where you played, mate?
Sussex Uni.
There you go. But look, listen, mate. I tell you what, though, he might have only played there, but he's playing tonight, and I'm not playing football tonight, so he's doing better than me. That was a brilliant episode of the Foy and Jones Show. We've sent some of you to sleep with football banter, but we've brought some of you to life with football banter. We've spoke about the life and challenges of a sales director. You should start a diary series, sir, because if you take that into your meetings, there's a bit of an angle then. Just find a videographer like Rico to follow you around and stick the camera in people's faces. Away you go. From a Foy and Jones Digital perspective, you're a business we're following. We'd love to do more with you. Keep doing it with a smile on your face. That's the end of episode 15.
Thanks very much.